This small coastal town was all she knew. Her family was here.
"Isn't David from somewhere back east?"
Seth asked. She pulled open her desk drawer and collected her handbag, then walked out into the hallway. "St. Louis. His whole family's there."
Seth groaned. "Tell me he's not interested in moving back."
There were a lot of implications in that sentence. That she and David were involved enough to be having that conversation. That one day they would be married, and, should he want to return to his hometown, she would go with him. She patted her boss's arm. "Cart, meet horse. You're getting way ahead of yourself. We've only been dating a few months. Things aren't that serious. He's a nice guy and all, but—"
"No sparks."
Seth's tone was sympathetic.
"Bummer."
"We can't all have your one true great love."
"You're right. Gary is amazing. Okay then, let's get you to the Anderson house so you can dazzle the good people who make—" "Who are you talking to?"
"The California Organization of Organic Soap Manufacturing, and they're at the Los Lobos Hotel. The Anderson house has bees."
Seth's expression brightened. "The drunken red-nosed honeybees? I love those guys. Did you know their raw honey has 30% more antioxidants than any other raw honey in California?"
"I didn't, and I could have gone all day without that factoid."
"You're jealous because I'm smart."
"No, you're jealous because I'm pretty, and our world is shallow, so that counts more."
Seth laughed. "Fine. Go be pretty with the soap people and bring us back some money."
"Will do." Sienna drove to the hotel. She knew the way, not only because her hometown was on the small side, but also because nearly every significant event was celebrated there. The Los Lobos Hotel sat on a low bluff overlooking the Pacific. The main building was mid-century modern meets California Spanish, 4 stories high with blinding white walls and a red tile roof. The rear wing had been added in the 1980s, and luxury bungalows dotted the grounds. Given the pleasant Central California weather, most large-scale events were held outside on the massive lawn in front of the pool. A grand pavilion stood on the lawn between the pool and the ocean, and a petite pavilion by the paddle boat pond. Sienna parked the car and collected her material. As she walked toward the rear entrance of the hotel, she saw that the windows sparkled and the hedges were perfectly trimmed. Joyce did an excellent job managing the hotel, she thought. She was also a generous contributor to the helping store, and not just with money. More than once Sienna had called to find out if there was a spare room for a displaced family or a woman on the run. A year ago, Joyce had offered a small room kept on reserve for their permanent use. Helping women in need was something Joyce had been doing forever. Nearly 24 years before, when Sienna and her sisters had lost their father, and Maggie, their mother, had been widowed, the family had been thrown into chaos. A lack of life insurance, Maggie's limited income, and 3 little girls to support had left the young mother struggling. In a matter of months, she'd lost her house. Joyce had taken them all in to live at the Los Lobos Hotel. Now Sienna smiled at the memory. She'd been only 6 at the time, missing her father, of course, but also discovering the joy of reading. The day the Watson family had taken up residence in one of the hotel's bungalows, Joyce had given Sienna a copy of Eloise. Sienna had immediately seen herself as a charming heroine from the book and had made herself at home in the hotel. While it wasn't the same as living at the plaza, it was close enough to help her through her grief. Sienna remembered how she'd called for room service and told the person answering the phone to charge it. Most likely those bills had gone directly to Joyce rather than to Maggie. And when she'd begged her mother for a turtle, because Eloise had one, a guest had stepped in to buy her one. While there was pain in some of the memories, she had to admit living at the hotel had been fun, at least for her. It was probably a different story for her mother. She entered through the rear door and started down the hall toward the meeting rooms. At the far end, she saw a familiar figure wrestling with a vacuum. As she watched, Courtney tripped over the cord and nearly plowed face first into the wall. A combination